What is up there, my beautiful misfits? Welcome to Pages of Ascension. My name is Tia. Welcome back if you've been hanging out with me for a while. So, this is going to be a midweek collective check in. It is for all signs, it is for the collective. As you can see, I'm doing something a little differently right now, and this actually has to do with the fact that the energy is very heavy today, like it's almost a foreboding feeling. Um, but I had to go out in public, so it's like I already pick up a lot of stuff, but sometimes it can be a little more intense or overemphasized when I go out in public. So we're just gonna take this extra step, and because of that, and everything going on, if I'm picking it up from the collective as well as picking it up while I'm out, there's a very good chance that this is how a lot of people are feeling. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this particular midweek check-in. Bear with me. It just means that the reading is going to take a second or so longer to get started. You're going to see me shuffling everything that I normally shuffle and pull before I turn on the camera. So I appreciate your patience as I go through this. We're going to say a little prayer and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Blessed are you, God, source of creation, who has sanctified us with her commandments and commanded us to raise our hands in service. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Look, let me move that. So I hope everybody's doing okay, keeping yourself safe. Staying, out of the public and stores and stuff unless you absolutely had to go. I ended up having to go out for my mom and just for a couple of things for myself that really couldn't wait. I wish they could have waited, but they couldn't wait. So yeah, it was interesting. There was a little bit of a lull or a calm, but it was almost like the foreboding energy, like here we go with the frickin' storm analogies here. So like the eye of the storm, like the calm before shit really starts to get crazy. Oh, my head's totally cut off here. 1 second. A little bit more. Okay. So yeah, let's see where we're at. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull the oracle cards first this time. Alright, what do we got for the next 7 days? Please, Spirit. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, we'll set that there. So, I don't. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to use another deck to clarify this week. I think I'm just going to use this one. So that said, for our primary deck, I am using the Tarot of Dreams by Sarah Marchetti. Okay, one more. flip this over. So we've got fortune cookie, which is fortuitous. We have precision, standing for numerology, and geomancy, standing for patience. First two cards that we've got, or the first position that we've got anyway, is the Two of Wands and the Magician. I'm going to go ahead and get all the cards out before I start going in on the description of these. So again, bear with me as I get this all shuffled out for you. Doesn't count. Shitty shuffling. That one counts. And let's say that one too. Okay. So strength is what we've got at the bottom of the deck. Four of Wands. This is definitely Ascension energy. Seven of Wands. Lovers. Tree of Life. Queen of Wands. Okay. Got some faded energy up in here. Knight of Cups. And Six of Wands. So, you know, I think this next week is looking actually pretty good. There's a little bit of defensive energy, and I feel like that defensive energy is coming from being in a state of not really knowing of where things are going. See, collectively, we've manifested a door. I got hella Aries energy all over my board. I mean, fire's all over the board. Almost all of it stands for Aries. Aries and Leo, it's looking like. So, collectively speaking, we have manifested a door or portal, okay? Technically two portals. We have a choice in which path we head down next as a collective, okay? This is evidenced by this Two of Wands and Magician energy. Now, we have to be very patient, first off. Actually, no, let me say this. We need to be very precise in how we go about which door we choose, okay? Which pathway that we're choosing. And I say this because, no, okay, so I don't feel like there is a wrong door, so to speak. There's a door that's like flight A to B, and then there's the door where you make 8 fucking pit stops to try to get to, you know, B. You know, A point A, A point B, A point C, all the way to A point Z, and then you finally get to, you know, stop B. Okay? It's like, let's use planes. Okay? But it's like, you know, taking a direct flight versus taking a flight that has multiple layovers. Okay? That's the difference between these doors. But each one is a portal. Okay? And it's a choice that we have. Now, it's not to say that one is going to be more fortuitous or more victorious than the other. That's not the case. That's not what I'm seeing at all. It's more, again, going direct route versus going a bunch of layovers. Meaning, if we go the route of a bunch of layovers, that there's going to be some repetition of things that we've already gone through. This is not just individually speaking, but as a collective as well. Okay? So, part of the issue, I feel like, for some of us anyway, is that we can feel this change coming. That's why we're in this defensive energy. That's almost why we're in, you know, kind of this anger energy. I'm seeing this tiger that's sticking out to me specifically. Don't claw on my nails. And it's not being defensive of that there is a choice. It's not being defensive that one has been creative or that there's a need. Actually, no. The defensiveness comes from the fact that a choice needs to be made. It's one of those, timing matters. Okay? Timing matters. We have geomancy, so patience and precision. Timing matters in this, meaning if you move too fast, you won't catch all the benefits that you're supposed to. If you move too slow, you miss out entirely. So it's finding that direct balance so that we can walk into the fortune that is written for us, that is pre-written for us. I feel like because the Tree of Life card is out, and specifically because of the fact that it's coming through with the Queen of Wands, this is saying to me, I mean, at least specifically those that are practitioners, light workers, star seeds, however you identify yourself as being in and of service to the collective, whatever title that you give yourself, I feel like a lot of us are feeling this energy change, especially like the sudden heaviness of it. Because I've actually been isolated in my apartment here for a couple of days now, and the energy was starkly different than it was the last time I had to go out and get stuff. So, like, I feel like those of you that are much more sensitive, like I said, however you identify yourself, as a practitioner, as a light worker, as a starseed, as a psychic, as a mystic, as an empath, whatever your gifts are, you're going to notice an increase of those. And this is timely, okay? There's precision happening in this. It's happening exactly when it's supposed to and how it's supposed to. But what this is telling me, this time around anyways, like I said, as many times as I use this deck, I guarantee you the more I learn about the Tree of Life, my definition of it will change every time. Every time, because the Tree of Life is a constant state of learning and elevation of oneself and the energy that we project. Okay? In any case, I feel like for a lot of you, your gifts are being heightened noticeably for a lot of you. I know it has for me. The downloads have been coming through like crazy. But this is just the beginning. Like, for those of you who really, really are ready to tap in deep or have that inclination to be, very, very psychic, very tapped in, very tuned in, you're going to notice an elevation in your abilities that actually might scare the shit out of you. That's what I'm getting from this. And I say that because the Queen of Wands, like, is the archetype who, she goes after what she wants because she knows what she wants, because she can see. She can see where things are going. This is the woman who plays chess before the pieces ever get on the fucking board. That's the Queen of Wands, okay? So it's like, a lot of you can see this coming, you can see this elevation coming, but you can't even see the full extent of how it's coming. And I've even noticed this with myself. Every day, something different is happening. Right now, I'm going through that period where I can't sleep worth a damn again, even though, I have things, like I have a regimen that I use every night to help myself get to sleep, and that shit is not working right now, okay? So, like, that lets me know that this is that time period before the upgrade, the full upgrade and transformation. It's almost like it's a pause of it. As I've noticed, at least for myself, a lot of those upgrades, at least in gifts and abilities and perceptions, if you will, end up coming through the dream state, okay? But in any case, this Queen of Wands is, she's the psychic, she's the practitioner. She represents, magician energy, intuitive energy. And here we've got magician on the board, okay? But in any case, there's going to be a large increase in this energy. So if you're very curious about that, regardless of what I'm saying, I would actually encourage each and every one of you, look up the archetype of the Queen of Wands. Okay? Actually, let me look in my little notebook really quick, because I ran across a really cool site that actually went through all of the archetypes, and I wrote all that biz down, because I had never seen this description for these archetypes before. So, like, the Queen of Wands, she's the entrepreneur, Fire of Water. Or Water of Fire, rather, excuse me. So actually, that would make a lot of sense that we're going to see a huge increase in entrepreneurship, given what is going on. Let's see here. Was there another? I thought there was another one. Maybe that was it. I think that was it. Yeah, and this is actually going to happen very quickly. Hold on, I know there's more. Oh, I didn't finish writing that down. Okay, so her minor can represent the king of, oh, excuse me, the Pisces Aries cusp. So for those of you that are born during this particular time period, I would actually say, oh, that's very interesting. So I'm going to say Aries in general. Whether you're Aries Venus, Aries Mars, or Pisces Aries cusp, specifically, based on what I'm seeing on my board. And my little note here, which I'm going to have to finish that now because I'm really curious about the rest of the representations there. But in any case, if you are within those particular, if you have those positions in your chart, I'm going to say that this time period specifically for you is very, very important. So that would be the third decan of Aries, or Aries and Venus. The first decan of Aries with Aries in Mars, if your Mars is in Aries, and then those who hit the Pisces Aries cusp. For you, this is going to be one of the most important times of the year to capture this energy, capture that entrepreneurial energy. So, like, if there's a business that you've been wanting to get started, okay, that you've been putting off, I don't have time. If it's like something is simple, because it's not simple writing a business plan, I would know. But if you're writing like a business plan or a business proposal for like a loan or something, now is the really good time to get that done. Okay. Specifically Aries people within those. So like I said, that's Aries and Venus, Aries and Mars, the first or the third decan, or Pisces Aries cusp. Okay. Hot diggity. But that said, there's a lot of fire on this board, which it's not that I would expect to see that, given that we are in the time period of Aries. But what it's telling me is that this is a signaling time of renewal for multiple areas. So like I said, there's this portal that, or two portals rather, that have been created. And as a collective, it's really important for us to decide which one of these doors we're going to go through. Okay? It's also important to not be defensive at this time about these changes that effectively are being forced upon you. Actually, let me read what the Hebrew letters mean in this reading, because I don't have that memorized yet. So, I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you. It's a little easier for me to not stare at the camera. Okay. Beth means house. That's interesting. So the magician allows us to begin rebuilding a rudimentary mental dwelling from which we can observe and learn the world. It looks at Mercury as its positional placement, and that's of thinking and communicating. So, given that this means house, these came out together, okay? So, on its most basic level, and I really don't want to bring the virus shit into the readings, but like I've said in every reading that I've done recently, that given the time period that we're in, it's very likely that it's going to come up. Those analogies will come up, that energy will come up, and there's really not much I can do about that because I pick up energy from the collective. That is where the collective is at. Okay, the majority of the collective. So, but as goes to say, like, literally the option for us could be as simple as going or staying home. Red pill, blue pill. You know, do we look beyond self-serving notions and things that like dismissal because something we feel something doesn't directly affect us, or do we go on the leap of faith that it possibly can affect us, but it definitely can affect those around us, and stay home? Which energy are you manifesting? Which energy are you in right now? So again, like this door, this portal, it's the choice which one we walk through as individuals and as the collective. One thing that I can tell you is that we are heading into something new. We are heading into some type of, I want to say union, but it doesn't feel like the right word. It's almost as if we're deepening our connection. Now, let me look up the letter for lovers, because I don't know the Hebrew letter for that either. Okay, so obviously we know that the lovers represents Gemini, right? Holy crap, it's been 20 minutes already. I didn't even notice that. So Zain means sword. The sword represents that aspect of human relationships that always maintains a barrier between any two people. So that complete union, which seems always in reach, is never quite attained. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I could not make this up even if I tried. We've got the Seven of Wands with this energy. That's defensiveness. Straight up defensiveness in coming into effectively union. So this is what we have ahead of us. If we are cognizant about what we are manifesting and cognizant about the direction that we're going, okay, the choices that we're making, if we allow ourselves to get rid of this energy and to embrace this energy of unity and connection, we elevate. We all become the Queen of Wands. That's badass. Okay? That's badass. Now, holy cow. I just realized what book I'm going to be reading first once I finish getting the house situated like I would like anyway. Hot damn. So it's also interesting that this is coming up. This was actually one of my cards for the month, like one of my personal ones. And what I find really interesting about the strength card coming up in all of this is that part of the strength, part of like embodying this idea of strength is not just knowing when to move. It's knowing when not to move. It's knowing when not to do something. It's knowing when to push forward just a little, but not take that full step. Take a baby step or a half step. Okay? It's about an inner knowing and an inner peace that only a magician can have. Because the magician is always in this energy. He's like, bitch, I'm going to win. I am always going to win. That's magician energy, okay? That's also Queen of Wands energy. Do you think the Queen of Wands is ever questioning that she's not going to get where she wants to go? Hell no. That is not this energy. Look at her. Like, y'all. My mind is kind of blown from this. Oh, we have one more letter. So let me actually look up strength as well. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Okay, so the strength card represents Leo, as you can see. I think everybody knows the glyph for Leo. But this particular letter here in the Hebrew alphabet is called Teth. It means serpent. The serpent here represents the same untamed animal energy symbolized by the tiger. That's Kundalini energy. This is the process of ascension. The only difference is that there's a lot of us who are very sensitive, and this sensitive energy here, and this magician energy here, we've been going through this process for years. So a lot of this, like, panic and anxiety and worry and just like, holy, those of you that are very sensitive know what I'm talking about. It's very hard to verbalize this energy, but it's very, very present, okay? But those of us that have been doing the work, we've already gone through all this energy. We've already gone through all of, these feelings and these emotions, and understanding the value of patience and divine timing, and understanding that, the divine doesn't just decide to do things on the whim. It's very precise in how it operates, this energy, how it brings things into manifestation and fruition, okay? So, that said, where we're at now, the reason that we're all feeling the same energy again that we've already gone through is because now it's a collective shift. This is not just, it's like we're each experiencing individual shifts in our own lives. Like, that's including those of us who have already woken up and who have been tapped in some type of position to lead and serve the collective, if you will, okay? All of us are experiencing some change, but at the same time, collectively, we are experiencing a shift. So it's like each one of these individual stories of each of ours is like a puzzle piece for the picture that is the collective. Everybody's going through what they need to for a reason. I believe that. And I know that in a lot of instances, that means some very disappointing, very sad things, and very angering things are happening that we are witnessing. And to some degree, some of us can't do anything about, but a lot of this just comes with, patience. I've been saying, and I'll say it again, justice is at play right now. All most of us can do is sit and observe. Again, the two doors. It's like, if you want to tempt the energy of justice with inconsideration, just for an example, okay? Because it's the quickest analogy that most people will recognize if they're still watching this video. So if you're going to tempt justice by flaunting in her face that it doesn't matter what's being handed down, you can do whatever the fuck you want because you think you're impenetrable, then you may experience that justice firsthand, and it won't be pretty. Whether that's now, whether that's a year from now, whether that's a week from now, whether that's 20 years from now, it will come back on you. That's just kind of how cycles work, because the wheel is in the process of turning. What you do right now is how that wheel turns, Are you going into a downward cycle, or are you going into an upward cycle? Okay? A lot of that has to do with where your focus is right now. So I'm actually not going to pull out another deck. We're going to stick with this one because I'm feeling it on fire. Okay, so I want to clarify the doors here. The Two of Wands. Tell me more about these doors. Okay, we have Ace of Swords that flipped over. Five of Coins, also Mercury. I'll be damned, I know exactly what this is. Okay, and then we've got Nine of Coins, which is Venus energy. Or feminine energy. Feminine energy. Feminine and Virgo. I'm actually really surprised there's no Pisces on here on the board. There might be later. We'll see. But, so what's really interesting about this, especially because this is landing in Taurus, which tells me that May is going to be a turning point for us. That is when we'll be walking through the doors of our choice and the doors will be shutting behind us effectively. That's what I'm seeing. But, what's interesting to me is that Mercury is responsible for both of these cards. So what that's telling me, the bold truth, okay, about these two doors, it's that it's literally all in what you manifest. You can manifest the 5 of coins or you can manifest the 9 of coins. It's your choice. It's how you go about it. It's which door you take. I can't tell you which door that is. I know which door I'm taking. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. But literally, it's all about, I mean, Mercury. Yeah, this is all mental. Like, if you walk around feeling like I'm going to be in fucking poverty, I'm never going to be able to get out of this, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, I don't think this is going to come together, then it won't. And you will end up in this energy. Let me get that a little closer for you. You see that? Does that person look very happy in that card? Compared to if you do your best, and I'm not saying it's easy to remain in an abundance mindset right now, but it is necessary, okay? If you choose to be in an abundance mindset, here is where you're heading. That's the door you're walking through. Which door? It's your choice. It's your choice, okay? So, wow, that is like telling. So tell me about this portal energy here. The 4 of Wands, please. Yeah, there's going to be reason to celebrate. So we've got Jupiter and Pisces. I don't know if that's a transit coming up or what. Somebody will have to let me know in the description box. It could just be that your Jupiter placement lands in Pisces or something. But Jupiter is the giver of lucks and gifts. I've heard him called Santa Claus on crack or something. Like literally Santa Claus. He'll give you whatever you want. So, you know, what are you telling the universe that you want? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on you're going to be broke? Or are you focusing on the fact that you're about to be really fucking abundant? Okay, that's the trick. That's the trick of Jupiter. Jupiter's going to give you exactly what you want. So be very careful, especially at this time, about what you're telling the universe that you want. Okay? Because where you put your focus is where you plant your seeds. And where you continue to put your focus is you watering those seeds. That's where they'll grow. So if you're putting your seeds in, I'm going to be broke, I'm not going to have enough, then that's exactly what's going to happen. It's as simple as that. So let's look at, I want to know why there's so much defensiveness here in this ascension process, because that's how I see this. It's the defensiveness of not wanting to connect on a real level for some people, you know, and not wanting to go and turn this page of the Book of Ascension. I sense that there's fear, but I don't know why. So let's look. All right. Actually, let's go both of these. Tell me a bit about both of these. That was quick. Sun, 8 of Wands. Some of you are scared of happiness, like low-key. You've never really felt like you've been happy, or you haven't been happy in a long time. So there is this fear in actually believing that something good could come out of all this chaos, because you haven't experienced it before, or you haven't experienced it in a long time. So you choose to default to this energy of, oh, things are going to just be how they always were. Things are always going to turn out how they were. Well, yeah, if that's how you view it, that's how it's going to go. It is that simple, okay? The mind is a very, very powerful tool that many of us, including myself sometimes, all, you know, underappreciate what it can do, okay? But the Sun and the 8 of Wands, first of all, that tells me very quick communication, very good quick communication comes through, okay? This is like, the Sun is the happiest fucking card in the deck. So the one thing I gotta say is, if this in specific has something to do with like the economy, okay? The economy, due to this virus, like, this is actually looking pretty good. But it's got a letter, so I'm going to look that one up too, and let's see what that says. Let me get a little bit of sun energy, please. Oh, wait, no, sun's 19. Should know that. There we go. So, for the sun card, we're looking at this Hebrew letter right here. Don't clown my nails. And this letter stands for Resh. It means front of head or face. Things that face the back of the head are hidden and out of sight. Things that face the front of the head, i.e. the face, are in full view, and we can be fully aware of them. While the moon is esoteric, available only to the initiated, the sun is knowledge and awareness available to all. Self-esteem and self-integration. Quickly. Happening very, very quickly. Okay? Mercury in Sagittarius. There's a lot of Mercury in this reading. So I feel like, as far as planetary bodies are considered, and I'm not saying this as someone who's an astrologer and knows for absolute freaking certain, okay? But I feel like Mercury specifically is going to be a very important planet to pay attention to as we're going through all this, what it's transitioning through. I don't even know how long Mercury stays in a specific sign, so somebody will have to enlighten me about that, or I'll look it up later. I feel like this is going to be very important to pay attention to. So I don't know if it's going to be when Sun and Mercury are both in Sagittarius, if that's a thing. It's kind of what it's coming off as. But there is knowledge to be had by dropping this defensive energy. And in like... defensive energy, I feel like, comes through often as smartassery. I love smartassery. Queen of smartassery here. But it can come through as, like, you know, being a smartass or being sarcastic. Sarcasm is a really big one. Sometimes it can come through as anger. Sometimes it can come through as dismissiveness. And what this is saying is that people need to get out of this energy. Get out of this energy and get into this energy. Because getting into this energy is how we end up here. Whoopsie. That's how we end up here. These are amazing cards. Amazing cards. Excuse me. Let me get a couple more, and then we'll go ahead and look at our rune card and wrap this up. What more can you tell me about the connection here? Tell me more about the defensiveness, actually. Let's go specifically into that. Holy shit. Okay. So, it's really interesting because while I'm viewing the Palace of Coins here, normally I view it as like a physical space, like a physical building that's located or surrounded around nature. So like think a house in the woods, a house next to a green belt type of thing, even a farm, for example. But what I'm actually also getting with this is institution. So I don't know if this has got to do with agriculture or what. But I'm getting institutions by this. So the defensiveness has something to do with a location surrounded by a lot of nature. Or it has something to do with nature. I don't know exactly what, though. I would even say maybe the pristineness of it, which would make a lot of sense. And that might be in part of why what is going on is what's going on. Because we don't recognize the damage that we're doing to basically our own house. Like, the world is our house, and we live in our house, and we don't really keep our house clean. Okay? In any case, it's like I was saying about the wheel card. I knew the wheel energy, like the wheel card, wheel of fortune energy is very present in this reading. And that's the defensiveness. It's how you act and react with this is going to determine where the wheel goes for you. Okay? So I'm not necessarily getting any new information off that. Let's go ahead and read up on the letter, just because I'm on a roll with this. I can't wait till I get them all memorized, but maybe realizing something. Okay, so the wheel letter, Kap, means palm. The wheel of fortune spins and proclaims our destiny, which some believe can be foreseen by divination, such as palm reading. So, maybe for some of you, you should get your palm read. Social distancing, of course. I'm pretty sure that there's readers who, can read your palm for you from a distance. So, maybe even requires you looking at your own palm. And we could even go a step deeper and say how do you use your hands? How are your hands in service to those around you? My hands are a tool to connect with the divine, to give messages to you. Okay? So I lift my hands in service, okay? But that might not be the case for everybody. For some people, the gift of their hands might be that they're a chef. It might be that they are a hospice nurse that holds someone's hand as they're taking their last breath. Someone's hands might be, they build things. They build shelter for people. Or some people's hands might be used to look through microscopes and telescopes to discover things above and things below. How are you using your hands? What is your service to the collective? Think about that. I really want you to think about that, because this Queen of Wands is ready to step through that door, not that other bullshit. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at our rune card for this next several days. We have daggers. Daggers. I always say that every time I see this card. So daggers is infinity, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same card that we had last week. Let me see here. No, because I was not at the back of the book last week. So daggers, breaking down to a number 6 in this deck. Oh, I didn't even look at that. 9. Actually, I would say 9s are pretty significant for people this week. 6. Okay. So, Dagus, meaning is day or beginning. This is a rune of transition. Signals clarity in having learned lessons. The rune for Dagus resembles 2 Ds mirroring one another. Dagus heralds the passing of one thing into another. Dawn to day. Day to night. Transitions bring new changes into our lives. Change is good. It allows us to grow and incorporate the new lessons we have learned into who we are. As each new day comes, it brings the promise of unlimited potential. Think about that. The time is now. And I feel the energy generally has been very heavy, but the energy of this reading for the collective, for those who cross this, who really need it, it feels very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the clock is ticking. Okay? The clock is ticking. This is quite literally this next 7-day period, y'all. I gotta be real with you. This next 7-day period your actions quite fucking literally speak louder than your words for this next week. Okay? So make sure that the actions that you take support the wheel turning in your favor. Okay? Make sure it supports where you want the wheel to go next, because it's all brand new. We are officially and fully in 2020 now, being an Aries season. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I really do hope that you found this helpful. If you're still watching after 45 minutes and 30 some odd seconds, I would appreciate a like. Don't forget to subscribe. There's more where this came from. I do have new series dropping out for you. There's a couple that I'm going to wait on, though. It's just not the right time. And yeah, I'm probably going to be opening up personal readings and do like a really heavily discounted special for that, because I feel a lot of people just, they have questions about where to next, what to next, and sometimes generals don't really address that. So definitely subscribe. Feel free to email me, and yeah, that's all we got. So, gratitude for each and every one of you, and remember, your peace is your power. Okay? I'll see you later.